Hi, and welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shape the game. Brought to you by Fit to Curl, a sport-specific guide to training for the world's greatest game by Olympic gold medalist and Team Martin third, John Morris, with a bit of assistance from me, Dean Gemmell. It's not too late to make curling-specific training part of your routine, and if you're new to the game this year, you've probably discovered that curling taxes the body in unusual ways. The programs in Fit to Curl will help you make more shots, sweep more effectively, and feel both better and more stable on the ice. To get your copy of Fit to Curl, visit fittocurl.com or ask for it at your favorite curling pro shop. She's been part of a team that's won a world championship. 4 times she's been on teams that have won the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, and this year she's a part of many different teams. Cathy-Overton Clapham, welcome to the Curling Show.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, Cathy, I know you've spent a lot of time talking about your break with Team Jones, so let's change it up here and start with what lies ahead this season instead. You seem to be playing in a lot of events with just about every Canadian woman curler of note. You were also tapped to work with Cathy O'Rourke's PEI team as a coach or a consultant. Maybe you can explain that better. And you're also taking to the ice for the first time this weekend with your Manitoba-based team of Brianne Meakin, Leslie Wilson, and Renora Westcott. So if you don't mind, try to explain it all.
Okay. Well, it's, obviously a unique year for me. Lots of opportunity to play with some great curlers across the country and Europe. So I started a couple weeks ago. I was asked to fill in on Heather Netawin's team. Beth Iskew was away for the weekend attending her brother's wedding. So I had the opportunity to play with them in the Edmonton Fall Shootout. And Heather and I have been great friends for a long time, so it was a great opportunity for me to actually play on the same team rather than against each other. And, we had a successful weekend, and, we're fortunate to win the final game. Unfortunately for Kathy King, she had missed her last shot to win the game, so we were a little lucky there. But all in all, it was a great weekend. We lost our first game, and that was the only game we lost. So, we clicked pretty well on the ice for not playing with the girls before, so it was a great weekend. The following weekend after that, I was in Regina and had the chance to play with Jan Becker, Marcy Gooderite, and actually Joan McCusker spared one game, so we had her in there, and Kelowna's Sasha Carter. We got off to a slow start there. We lost our first game. We felt that, it was one of those games we probably shouldn't have lost, but we did. And then we got killed the next game, but came on strong near the end and just missed the playoffs. And, what a great opportunity for me, idolizing Jan Becker growing up and actually having the chance to play on the same sheet of ice with her was really something that I will remember for a long time, and it was a lot of fun. We had lots of laughs and really enjoyed ourselves for sure.
So I'm going to guess, after the end of last season, that was probably a good way to start the season for you, playing with those two different teams.
Yeah, it was great to come out with a win for sure. There's nothing like winning a Bonspiel, and certainly one that you've never played with a team before, and the first one of the year, it was great. And, we felt really good in Regina as well, and, we didn't make the playoffs, but it was a great weekend, and it was a great way to start the season. I've never had the opportunity to play so early in the year. We normally start a couple weekends later, so yeah, it was great, and I had the opportunity in the summer to get on the ice a little bit in Halifax there, so in all, it was a good start.
It was back in the summer when I think the CCA announced this partnership or relationship you would have with a Team O'Rourke, I guess. But how is that working, or what is it, or what are you doing with them?
Well, I'm just working with 3 Atlantic Canada players: Andrea Kelly, Erin Carmody, and Jerry Lynn Ramsey.
Okay.
Helen Radford. It's an Atlantic Canada program that she's gathered some players together that. That weekend I had the chance to sit down with them, and actually Marcel Rock was part of the weekend too. We worked with a couple of the boys from the island as well, and we just shared some things, that our team had worked on over the years, and a lot of little things that we shared with the girls and the guys, and we had a chance to play an exhibition game against Colleen Jones' team out there, and then again I had the opportunity to be part of the La Relève program in Edmonton, which they were a part of, and we're going to get to play in a spiel together in Brantford, Ontario. But it's all basically the Atlantic Canada that's making that happen. And, having the opportunity to work with the La Relève program was a great opportunity, and it certainly was a full-packed weekend of learning and sharing our experiences with the La Relève program athletes.
Was coaching something that you thought about doing at some point, or that you still think about doing?
It really was an eye-opener. The coaches always get pushed to the side when it comes to the sport of curling, and, in the past our coach have always been a big part of the team, and, certainly watching that La Relève program unfold over the weekend, there is so much that goes on behind the doors of the CCA that, people probably don't realize. And what I tried to share with the athletes that weekend was, I personally never had the opportunity to be part of the La Relève program. They never offered it when I was 25, and I was too old when the program started. And, we were sitting at a table, and there was Marcel Rock and Rick Lang and Linda Moore and myself and Jeff Stout, and I was in awe, saying, wow, look at the company we're sitting with. And for all those athletes to pick the brains of all those, still competitive curlers and coaches, what a great opportunity.
Well, I know a lot of people are happy to see that program back, and, I think it is a good one for Canada. All right, Cathy, well, we know about the future a little bit now, and let's talk about the past, whether you really want to or not. Maybe you're tired of it, but every year there's at least one change to a curling team that is the talk of the spring, and this year it was the fact that you were dropped from the Jones lineup. You've said in other interviews that you were shocked or blindsided even. With some time to reflect, though, do you think there were signals or anything from your teammates that you may have missed, or was it really that surprising?
No, I was really surprised. We never really talked about, what the future held for our team. We were preparing for the Olympics and the Olympic trials, and that didn't happen. And, then we turned the table on to, try to repeat as Team Canada, and we did that. And, we didn't have the best result of the world, but we did medal, and, we did have a good week. We just didn't perform in two of the last few games that we could have to the potential world champions again. But yeah, I would be lying if I said that I was surprised and taken back by the whole thing. Am I over it? No, I wouldn't say. As I said in an interview just the other day, that there doesn't a day go by that somebody stops me, or I get an email or a phone call, or it's an ongoing thing. And I'm trying to get by it. And there's been so many great opportunities that's landed on my plate that I'm trying to take advantage of, and I will eventually get over it. It's just hard with you have a relationship with 4 other people, and when you don't see something like that coming, it's pretty hard to take, and pretty hard to take with the potential spots that we secured as a team, with the Canada Cup and the Continental Cup. And my favorite event ever is the Scotties, and to have earned that and that taken away, it's definitely a soft spot for me. But I'm going to do everything I can to have a great year this year, and so far to play with different people that would have never happened. So trying to look at the bigger, better picture of all that.
I appreciate the honesty that you're not saying you're just over it already, and I think that's fair. Hey, as high performance curling has grown, you point out your situation to me points out an interesting challenge for curling, and that's financial and competitive implications for the next season for a team. Like you just said in a story by Craig Slater, Post Media News, you said that the events I felt I'd earned the right to play in were all taken away from me. You said you had no conversation with Don or Jill, but a couple with Jennifer over the summer. Were those discussions about coming to some sort of an agreement on that?
Well, I guess it is what it is, right? Like the team has to be consistent of 3 players returning, so I was the odd man out, so I'm out. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Huh. Well, it was an interesting, I remember when Jamie Korab was dropped from Gushu, Team Gushu, we talked about that, and I don't know if there's not an easy way forward for it, I think, for teams. I talked to John Mead, and he talked about shelf life for teams, and I guess your opinion is, if you looked at your numbers, you were playing really well last year in those big events, and that must be frustrating. But when you walked off the ice, say after the Great Power Players, you really felt like the team still had something left in the tank.
Yeah, we've had a lot of success together. We've, won, some Canadian championships. We've won a world title. We've won a bronze medal. We've won probably, every Bondsville there is to win. And, I didn't feel like we were stale, but, the team was looking at a different road to take, and I wasn't part of it. So, unfortunately, again, odd man out.
Yeah, it was interesting. I actually thought, I wasn't surprised there was a move with your team. I thought, though, it might be all go separate ways, to be honest. But I wasn't totally shocked, I have to say. But I can understand, clearly you were, and I can understand why, to be honest. But I don't know if we've, as curlers, sorted out how we handle all this stuff yet. It's a bit tricky as the sport grows.
Yeah, I do get that, changes need to be made in teams, and it happens every year. But is there ever a good time? Probably not for it to happen. But for the situation that we were in, all the things that were on the line, I don't disagree that changes need to be made. Of course they do. But, with what we had just won and what we had coming, or what we earned as team to play in things, I think that's the hardest part.
You're going to Calgary this weekend with your new rink. First time in the ice with them this year, or you've probably practiced, I imagine.
Yeah, I've been practicing quite a bit. Lucky enough the Fort Rouge had early ice all summer long with the Men with Brooms sequel movie going on there. So I've been lucky enough to be on there. And Brianne actually has been in a couple of spiels with her junior team already, so she's been out on the ice. And I know Renora and Leslie are anxious to get back on the ice, so, we're all excited to get out there. And, yeah, it's going to be our first event where a lot of the other teams have had that under their belt, but we know that we weren't going to have a whole lot of time to work together from Bonspiel to Bonspiel. So, we're going to try to do everything we can to make this weekend work and figure out any kinks that we need to figure out. And Rob Meekin, we were fortunate enough to scoop him as a coach. I know that he's had quite a few calls from other women's teams, so I think we're quite fortunate that he's on board, and he's going to be around on the weekend, so it's going to be good for us.
Hey, there's a reasonably good chance you'll play Team Jones this weekend in Calgary. You're actually on the same side of the draw. Would it be good to just get that first game against them over with and done with? Would you rather have that happen sooner or later in the season? Yeah,
I don't think it much matters. I mean, hopefully, we'll all get a chance to get it on and over with so that it can be talked about forever. I know I've had a couple calls already talking about it, and, I don't look at playing them going to be a big thing on the ice. But, yeah, probably if we can play each other sooner, it'll just build up more if we don't, so...
as painful as it might have, the whole thing has been for you, I have to say, Cathy, you should take some solace. I think it's good for curling.
Is it?
You'll have a game out there that will get a lot of attention if you guys play each other. That's good for curling.
Oh, well, I'm glad that's good for curling. I'll just get stopped more on the street now.
Yeah, small comfort, I know, but
yeah.
Rivalries are good, I guess. Hey, last questions that is Team Jones related.
Okay.
Why did you and Jennifer always seem to differ when it came to line calls?
No one's ever asked me that, but people have always talked about it. It wasn't anything intentional that we both had planned. Jennifer and I were very, very good friends, on and off the ice, and both competitors. I just think that we were into the moment, and I don't even think that we realized that we were doing it when we were out on the ice.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I've talked to more people who noticed that, and it wasn't like one of you was consistently right or wrong either. It was just different all the time.
Yeah.
So,
I'll have to look back at that.
We'll see what happens with Brianne now. And
yeah, although she is pretty aggressive in the house, I might say.
Oh, really? Is she Martin Kret? Is she?
No, I wouldn't say that. But she's just aggressive. And which is great.
Okay, but she doesn't have the screeching voice.
No, but she's not scared to yell either. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Trials qualifying in Canada doesn't really begin for a couple of years with a new 2-year instead of a 3-year process. Are you confident you're going to be in that picture? Are you is that a goal moving forward?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I was never ready not to play. I still feel that I can still play, with the top teams, players across the country, across the world. And I think when I start to falter there, then that's when I'll probably take a step back. But, when I get on the ice, I love being out there. I love competing, and I'm still enjoying it. So I think that, if I can just keep up with the fitness level and still be, as excited to step on the ice for every single practice, then I'm hoping to be around for the next trials for sure.
I don't know if you've thought about this, but apart from the fact that as a skip you have to get your head around certain things that you don't at other positions, have you ever stopped to think over the summer that you might be a better skip than a third in the modern game?
Oh, I don't know about that, Dean. When I played in Regina, I didn't think I did very well with the, I don't want to say frustrations, but if I'm not making some shots, obviously now it's a totally different perspective, right? You're the last rock throw and there's no one behind you. And I have had some hard times letting things go during that weekend, and certainly that's something I'm going to have to work on for sure for the next little while. But I really enjoy playing third. But, with what lies ahead for this year, different spiels, I'm going to get a chance to play some different positions. So it's going to be, like I said, it's an opportunity that probably would have never presented itself before.
And you're filling in for Annette Norberg, right?
Yeah, but I'm going to be playing third, so I won't be skipping.
Which spiel is that?
London, Ontario.
Oh, okay, the London spiel. Good.
Yeah, so the following weekend, yeah. And then I'm in our Leslie Wilson and Renora Westcott and myself. Brianne can't make the weekend of the Red Deer Spiel, so Marianne Arsenault is going to join us for that weekend.
I think one of the best things about the 2-year process is we might see a lot of this freelancing by teams all over the place.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see that. The only thing that's really tough is the residential rules, but from the past, few years, teams have been working their way around it. It would be easier if the associations just kind of, changed the rule a little bit. But, I understand everyone representing their province and so forth. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some teams go that way.
Well, that's an issue, yeah, isn't it? It's been an issue in Manitoba. Your opinion seems to be that maybe that ship has sailed and we just let people play.
Yeah, I'm not really sure because I'm always a strong believer that, you're from your province and to play out of the province. I had some requests to play outside, and, I was going to have a hard time saying that I was playing out of a different province when I probably wasn't going to be living there. So that's a tough situation, but if it's all about going to the Olympics and making the best team that you need to put together, then yeah, it's...
teams can get points without really playing in a Canadian championship, too. There's always that option, but... It's I don't think anybody wants to pass up that chance to do that.
Yeah, because they're such great events.
Right.
I've never played in the Brier, obviously, but every female curler wants to be in that Scotties Tournament of the Hearts. It's such a great event, so that would be something hard to pass up for sure.
All right, Cathy, we finished with the run back. I give you a topic, and you give me your thoughts in 1 to 3 words.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be very good at this.
Well, I'm pretty lax though. Okay. A lot of people go on, and then I tend to go on and. The only guy who really gets it right is Glenn Howard. So, that's the bar. Okay. Glenn Howard sets the bar for a few things, I guess, and the run back is one of them.
So 3 words. 1
to 3 words. Like I said, I'm pretty liberal with it. So, Winnipeg is the host of the next Canada Curling Trials.
Excellent.
Curling in Korea.
Would be interesting.
Well, didn't you guys play there?
Yeah, we were in a different part. It was hard because we were right on the ocean, and it was a great hotel we stayed at, and I think it would be interesting.
So you were never a big fan, though, of you guys, I think as a team, really preferred it when the World Championships were in Canada, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's definitely an advantage, I think, for Canadians. Yeah. How about curling in Scotland in a facility called the Lagoon?
Well, that was a different, but curling in Scotland's great.
Yes, it
minus
usually
the
is.
Lagoon. Yeah,
I think you just not when there's a pool next door, right?
Yeah,
I think that was the problem there. The chances of the Dallas Stars this season?
Oh, I'd have to say great.
There you go. You think your dad's done proper scouting? They got some young players.
It would be wrong if I said something.
Yeah, a lot of turnover this year there with that team. So
Yeah.
the Continental Cup,
Best event.
best event.
Well, second best.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, Scotties would be the best
Yeah,
event.
it's a
lot
great
of
event
fun.
to play in. I know. I'm still unconvinced. It's a great event to watch.
Yeah,
but-
sorry. Let me rephrase that. Great event to be part of.
yeah, sure. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I won't start another Continental Cup rant like I have in the past. So,
Okay.
Ray Turnbull,
Great friend.
Jason Gunlickson's Russian team losing to the other Russian team in Vernon last weekend.
I heard that. Surprised, but I'm sure they'll come on strong.
Chances of you playing for Russia?
Ooh. I don't know.
You don't know. Look at
Yeah.
that.
How about that?
There you go. I thought Manitoban like you would say no, but there you go.
Oh.
You never know, right?
You never know. Who
Yeah.
knows what's going to happen?
We'll see. Well, that's it. We'll see what happens in this crazy curling world in the next few years. I think we're in for some changes, and it could get interesting. So
Yeah.
you never
Let's
know.
just hope I'm not the top story again.
Well, you could be. You could be a comeback story, Kathy, and then
Yeah.
you could be the top story again. So
I'll make my own story up.
yeah, be careful what you wish for. All right, Kathy. I let everyone name their sponsors at the end of the show, and with these multitude of teams and all the things you're doing, I don't know if you have any, but let me know if you do.
Well, we haven't been fortunate to scoop some majors, but Asham Curling Supplies has been a sponsor since I started curling, and they're still on board, and they're absolutely amazing to be associated with.
Well, that's great. Hey, Kathy, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Like I said, take some solace in the fact that I think all this is good for curling in the end. But enjoy your weekend in Calgary, and good luck.
Thanks so much, and thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
That's Cathy-Overton Clapham on The Curling Show. Make yourself curling fit by following the programs in Fit to Curl by Olympic gold medalist and Team Martin third John Morris. Available at fittocurl.com and at Better Curling Pro Shops. Now, here's some pudding.
You go to work every day, you blend into the crowd. But in the silence of night, he's got to live it loud. Behold the sight of the full moon tonight. And you try